Hi, I'm Tara Kelly, also known as Wrapping Sunshine, and I'm going to talk to you about how to size a wrap. First of all, it's important to know the sizing of a wrap. These are generally the sizes. If you notice, a size 2 is 2.6 to 2.7 meters. Wraps are generally sized according to the metric system, so meters, and they generally go from zero point 0.6 to 0.1 to 0.6 to 0.1 and so on. There are a number of sites that will say that it's 2.6 or 2.7 or 3.1 or 3.2, so it should fall between that range. It's important to also think about this in terms of centimeters. So a size 3 wrap ranges from 310 to 320 centimeters. Well, that's a 10 centimeter gap. And let's look at soft tape to understand what that means. This is 10 centimeters, which is, look at my hand, it's pretty long. That is the range within what your wrap should measure in order to be called that particular size. So for a wrap to be called a size 3, it should range between 310 to 320 centimeters with a little bit of give. But you don't want to call something less than that size of wrap. So you have a wrap and you want to know what size it is. How do you measure that to find out what size you have? First of all, we always size our wraps after they've been washed because they have a certain amount of shrinkage when they wash. So in order to give an accurate size, we want to wash and dry our wrap. And then once it's washed and dried, we can measure the wrap. And companies know this when they're sizing their wraps, and so they always give some extra leeway for shrinkage. You measure with a soft tape. It's a flexible tape. This is very inexpensive to find. You will find inches on one side of the tape and centimeters on the other. You do want to measure with centimeters because wraps are measured on the metric system, so centimeters to meters. And this is called SITH, soft tape in hand. Hold your wrap and you hold your soft tape in your hand. You do not lay it on the ground. You want to be holding it in your hand in order to measure accurately. And when you're measuring, you don't want to stretch the fabric too much because you want an accurate measurement without too much of the stretch, but you also don't want it to be really slack. So you want to hold it taut. And what I do, if you look, I put my finger in between the tape and the wrap, and I move them along together, pulling just a little bit in order to keep them even. So I'm pulling it along, careful not to let it slip when I need to keep going. Hit the middle marker. I'm continuing to go. This particular tape is 300 centimeters or 3 meters long. I have come to the end of my tape. I have come to the end of my tape, and which is right here where the 300 is. So I am going to mark that with my finger and pull the tape back through. Going to start again and continue to the end of the wrap. And when I get to the end, I do go from one point to the other point. I get 126, 126. So that was 426 centimeters, which if you know how the metric system works, centimeters, there are 100 centimeters for a meter. So I move my decimal place over twice and I get 4.26. So my wrap is a slightly long size 5. And if I were to be telling somebody about my wrap, I would say that it is a size 5 wrap with 6 extra centimeters. And if we remember, that's quite a bit. So we have bonus centimeters here. It's a size 5 with 6 extra centimeters, which is about the length of a finger. So that has some bonus centimeters there. We'll do this again with another wrap. Again, hold the tape and pull it along. This wrap is very stretchy, so I want to be careful not to stretch it too much and get an inaccurate measurement here. So I'm pulling it along. To the end, I'm going to take my fingernails and mark that. Pull this back to the beginning of the tape and continue to measure. Again, I pull my fingers in between. Get to the end here, and I have 81.5. 81.5. So that was 381.5 centimeters, or 3.8, we'll round up, 82 meters. And this was sold to me as a size 4, so it is a long size 4. It has 12 extra centimeters, 11.5 extra centimeters. So it's a long 4. I hope that you found that was helpful, and I hope that you have a great day. Thanks.